Hello everyone, welcome to the Sweet Source Canada YouTube channel. My name is Tristan and today we're changing the engine oil and filter on this 1999 Volvo S70. Alright, so step one, what I always like to start doing, open up your oil cap. You can just let that sit there just to allow a little bit of venting, and you can also open up your dipstick. Another good practice to do as well is to check your level before you start. I already did on this case and it was nice and full, pretty much about 80% of the way up. So just check your oil, see what you're at level wise. It's a good time to check. Maybe you're low on oil, if you have an oil burning issue, or maybe some leakage happening. You'll be able to detect it this way. That's if you don't check your oil often already, but it's a good practice anyways. I always leave the dipstick open just a little bit to allow some air to go in, as well as the oil cap, and that will help your oil drain a little bit faster. Also, before you start, you can go ahead and take the car on a quick drive around the block, maybe a kilometer or two, just to let things warm up and let the oil circulate and mix up to get all the contaminants and stuff within the oil, so that when you drain it, you get a good thorough drain. Alright, so next step of course is to get under the car. Grab yourself a drain bucket, place it properly. Make sure your drain bucket can hold at least 6 liters of oil, because these bad boys, the non-turbos, hold about 5.7, 5.8 liters of oil. So make sure you do have a drain bucket handy that can handle all the oil that's going to come out. I'm going to go ahead and place it like this on the vertical, so that the oil drain can have enough room to not spill everywhere. And try to place it as well where the drain path is going to eventually come down to. You don't want to put it like this, then it's going to come down here and ruin your driveway potentially, so that's not really fun. So yeah, once you have it placed, you can go ahead and crack this bolt loose. It's a 17 millimeter. Use a ratchet socket or a wrench or something and crack that loose. Now this should not be hard to take out. It should come out really easily, unless someone really over tightened this thing, but honestly it should come out really easily. So just make sure you're ready with your pan in the right spot to catch all the oil. I also have a rag handy just in case you get a little bit of spillage. You can see now the oil's trying to come out and kind of made a little bit of a mess, but not too bad. And this is why you keep a rag handy. Just make sure as the oil is starting to drain, you're adjusting that bucket, getting ready to catch anything. Also on a windy day when the oil gets thin here and it starts to drip very small and it's just a little stream, the wind might also blow that around, so just be aware of that. But here, as you can see, it's draining really nice and easy, so this is really good. Obviously opening the cap on the top is going to allow more air to come in and push out that oil. So let's just let that drain for about 5 to 10 minutes. You should get a pretty solid drain that way. Alright, so while that's all draining, gives you a good time to prepare your drain plug, put in your crush washer, and prepare your oil filter as well. So first thing I'm going to do is clean up the drain plug, remove the old crush washer. These are essential to change every time. They only cost like about $1, so don't skimp out and change that. Generally you want to put the flatter side up against the bolt and the rounded side up against the pan, so upwards pretty much, and that's gonna allow this rounded surface to conform better to the irregularities of the pan. Of course, that mating surface on the pan has very micro, little grooves and whatever. That's gonna help mold it properly to prevent leaks. Next thing you're gonna do with your filter, we're using an OE Mann filter here. These are probably like some of the best filters to use on these cars. I'm gonna go ahead and lubricate this seal. Now a lot of people use oil. I like to go a little step further and use some silicone grease, something like this. You probably see me use it on the channel quite a bit, but it's one of my favorite lubricants to use, and it's my favorite to use on this. And the reason why, it's kind of, there's a lot of reasons why people lubricate the seal. Some people don't lubricate them at all because there's already oil on the mating surface on the car, but I always like to put a little bit, and you don't need much. It's just a very thin layer. And the reason why we do this is just so this gasket, when you do tighten it up, it doesn't actually pinch. It's not really to create a better seal, it's just so it doesn't pinch or contort, and that of course will allow it to leak if it does pinch or contort. Anyways, that's already good to go. We can put that back in its box for the time being, and our plug is ready to go as well. So when I see the oil at this stage, I still give it a little more time to drain, because I still think you could probably get about another, 100 milliliters out of there if you let it sit for another 5-10 minutes. It's really up to you. Honestly, closing it at this point is not a big deal either. Like I said, it's maybe 100 mils extra that are gonna really come out of there, so it's not worth going crazy over. So I'm just gonna let this drain a little bit longer, and then I'm gonna go ahead and plug it up. Another thing too is while you're under the car, this is a good time to kind of inspect things like rubber bushings, hoses, lines, suspension components. Axle boots are an important one that people kind of overlook, and see if there's any leaks. As you can see, generally here everything's very dry, and I took a good look around. I do have a steering rack boot to change at one point, I believe on the passenger side. Otherwise everything's looking really good under here. This is my girlfriend's daily driver, so this car gets used pretty much every day. But yeah, just keep an eye on things, especially if it's your daily driver. It's going to be more important, but just make sure you keep an eye on things, and you know, check anything underneath here. It's a really good opportunity. This is why working on your own car is actually really good. It's actually really good because you get to be able to see your car and kind of connect to your machine, and just check as things go bad and whatever. All right, so the first thing I do here, just go ahead and start wiping a little bit. There is going to be some oil on those threads, so when you do tighten up this bolt, just keep in mind that it is a little bit more slippery than it would normally be with dry threads, and just be conscious of that and don't over tighten this. I believe torque is probably around the 25 Newton meter range, give or take 25 to 30 Newton meter range. I believe it's about 28 actually foot-pounds to be exact on this car. So let's go ahead and clean that up. Move our bucket out of the way. This one's a really big bucket. I believe it's like an 8 or 10 liter bucket, so it has really no problem catching all that oil. Tighten it as much as you can by hand. Make sure it's going in really smooth. Otherwise, you're probably cross-threading it, and that's never fun. So once it's all the way in, get your socket on there, and then just turn it until you see that crush washer start to do its job and crush. And that's going to be pretty much enough. We'll just go one more time, just to make sure. And that's it. That's going to be good enough. Once that's done, you see that crush washer has tightened up. I like to go ahead with my brake cleaner and clean up my mess. So I've got my drain bucket here underneath. This is the oil filter right here. So it is on the passenger side when you look forward of the car in front of the oil pan. So you got your drain plug up here, and then just diagonal of it, there's your filter. So let's try to take it out by hand. I don't tighten these much, but this is probably going to be on there. We did about 10 to 11,000 kilometers in this oil change, so we're going to probably need to go ahead with our pliers here. You can use pretty much any type of pliers that fit in here to get this out. I'm going to go ahead and use these oil filter specific ones. Just turn it lefty loosey, and that should not be putting up a fight, so that's good. It's coming out nice and easy. You got to first break that seal, and you'll see oil will probably start to come down pretty soon, probably now, any moment. And you can let that pan drain. Luckily my pan caught that, except for a couple little drops. So let that drain as much as you can. You could loosen it a bit more, it'll come out a bit faster. Now you want to be careful removing this filter, because they're quite large and they do hold just about 300 to 500 milliliters of oil. So that is not fun when you go take it out and you're not expecting the weight to be this heavy. But it is quite a heavy filter when all considering, when it's full of oil. So let's go ahead and take this out slowly. And when you feel that last thread on, that means, oh yeah, I got it. And that is a heavy filter. Let's go ahead and dump out the remaining oil as much as we can. And then we could put this guy to the side. But yeah, they're quite heavy. So make sure you just keep your grip on them, even though you have oily hands. And then you could go ahead and remove that and come bring in the new filter. One thing I forgot to mention is I did actually bring the filter box for the new filter close by, and that's to put in the used filter in it upwards, so no oil drains out of it, and you can bring it to the recycling center easily. So let's go ahead and clean up our mess here. So get your bucket ready to catch any brake cleaner, and just go ahead a little bit. Don't be shy with this, just make sure it gets nice and clean, just like so. And then grab your rag and go in there and clean up your mess just around here. Good. Make sure that up here your gasket is not still there. Obviously ours came out with the filter. That's an easy way to check. If you do double gasket this, sorry, as I'm trying to adjust myself, if you do double gasket this, you will get a pretty severe leak that will need addressing like right away. So anyways, once that's done, I see that's all clean. There's a little bit of used oil in there, but that's okay, because it's going to help spin this new filter on really easily. Let's go ahead and pop this on. Now this, you want to also be careful not to cross thread anything. And once you see it starts to thread on smooth, just go ahead by hand. And once it touches the bottom, you want to do a full turn or 3/4 of a turn. I'm going to go for a 3/4 turn. So that's half. And that's just about a 3/4 right there. So maybe a little bit more, like a full. But that's going to be good enough. You want to just tighten this by hand. And there we go. That's all you need. Clean up your mess. So if there's any leaks, you could see them. If the filter's all oily, you might not see any leaks. That looks all nice and clean to me. So now we're going to go right back above and we're going to add our oil in. Now don't forget to also carefully remove your bucket and put it somewhere where no animals have access to it and where no people will step in this, because that's not really fun, or drop anything in it. And make sure you put it aside, and then after that we're going to go ahead and drain this into a recycling container. Alright, so once you're back up here, you can go ahead and clean and remove your dipstick and then reinstall it. There we go. Install that all the way. Grab your oil cap. If you see any gunk or residue, you can go ahead and clean it. This one's actually quite clean. I might go quickly with some brake cleaner and put some silicone grease on this gasket, so I'll be back. Alright, so I've gone ahead and cleaned this and lubricated the seal. You can pretty much use not any lubricant of your choice. You can't use things like Vaseline that'll kind of eat at seals. And that's the same goes for the oil filter too. Stick to engine oil or to silicone grease for these seals. That's what they're designed for, and they're designed of course for engine oil, but silicone grease actually helps keep the seal nice and soft and pliable, and that will help it last longer. So let's put this to the side, and now you can add our oil in. A rag right here, and this is just for any spills, anything like that. I want to make sure I'm catching them as much as I can, because I kind of don't really pour the funnel most of the time. So just make sure that's in its place, ready to catch any oil. And the oil I'm using today is a 5W40 synthetic, which is fine for these engines. Any 5 or 10W30 or 5 or 10W40 is okay. You might want to stick more to a 10W8 if you're going to go for rather a 10W8. You want to probably do that for the summer months. Maybe in the winter go for a 530 or 540. But I like 40 weight in these cars. I find they just run really nice on this oil. I've been doing it for a long time and never had any issues. So let's go ahead and dump in this oil. We try to get a good pour for the camera, and that is pretty. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and pour this full container. It's about 5 liters of oil, and once that's poured, we'll go ahead and top up whatever's remaining. These cars are pretty sensitive to overfilling. It could have a negative effect on your PCV system, so just make sure that you're not overfilling these cars. You can go either halfway up the dipstick or about 2/3 to 3/4 of the way up. Don't go all the way up to full. And don't forget also, you got to start this car running a little bit so it fills up the oil filter, and that will give you a more accurate reading. So let's go ahead and fill this up first with this 5 liter, and then we'll go from there and check the level. So once that's done pouring for now, let's put on our oil cap so no debris goes in, just like so. We've already allowed about a minute for that oil to drain into the pan, which should be enough to give us a decent reading. And you can see here, it's registering at about the 2nd hash, so we're still low. So before we go ahead and drive this car off the ramps to properly check the oil, we're gonna go ahead and just add a little bit more, maybe about 200 to 300 milliliters of oil, just to make sure that we have enough, so it's not too close to the minimum. And then once we're down, before we take it off the ramp, we're gonna check for any leaks, and then from there we'll adjust the level properly. So let's start doing that. Right, so now our oil should be at a decent level. So let's go ahead and fire it up, look underneath for leaks, and if that's all good to go, we'll back this off the ramp and then check the oil properly. All right, so everything sounds really good up top. Let's go down below and look. And that dripping there is just the air conditioning. But here I see 0 leaks whatsoever, nothing. Nothing from the drain plug, nothing from the filter. If you do see leaks, it means just didn't tighten everything properly, or there's maybe like a double gasket or something like that I mentioned before. But most of the time it's just a matter of tightening stuff more, but this is all nice and dry. So let's go ahead and back it off the ramp and then check our level properly. Now before we go ahead and take the car off the ramps, just go ahead and find a used oil container or something. Go ahead and drain that used oil in there, bring your filter with you and go ahead and drop it off at any like Canadian Tire or auto shop. They'll probably take your used and recycled oil, and they'll take care of all that stuff. So make sure you just bring it to a certified place that can handle that stuff, and don't just toss this down the drain or throw it in the garbage. Make sure everything goes to the proper place so it gets recycled correctly and disposed of correctly. Okay, so once we've driven the car off the ramps, this is where we can check the level properly. The car is at a level surface, so it'll give us a more accurate read. Let's go and grab a towel. You can use a paper towel, anything that's lint free pretty much will do the job. Grab our dipstick out. New oil might be a little bit tough to see on the dipstick, but I'll show you a quick little trick where you can see it better. So get that back in there, let it sit for a couple seconds. And now the oil filter should be pretty much filled. So as you can see here on the hash marks, you can see we're just about halfway. And then you can see here as well on the back, you can kind of look over and get an idea. So that's the trick. You can kind of turn it back around and see a little bit better sometimes. But we're about halfway through. So let's go ahead and add about 300 mils of oil. And then that'll probably pretty much conclude our oil change. All right, I just added about 250 mils. Let's go ahead and pull the dipstick up once more. Insert that back in. Wait maybe a few seconds for the oil to cling on it. And now you can see we're just about coming up on the fifth hash, which to me is pretty satisfying because now there's still some oil draining into this. Don't forget that you can always add the oil and it's a pain to remove some. So go little by little until the level is, I would say, just about, here you can see even went up a bit more, just about to this hash. And then after that, try not to go too close to the top, but leave a little bit of room, you know, nothing crazy. Like I said, you can always add more oil. You can't remove some easily. So just let it sit even overnight. If you're not using the car, just let it sit and then go ahead and check your oil level in the morning. It's gonna be the most accurate that way. And yeah, just keep an eye on it. Make sure it doesn't go above the max, nor near. I wouldn't go either on the max either. I always leave a little bit of wiggle room just for that oil to expand and stuff. So you keep that PCV system nice and happy. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much everyone for watching. If you did like it, please subscribe and also leave a comment if you have anything to say. And that's pretty much it for me. Have a good day. Thank you so much for watching and take care. Goodbye.